Of course, it all depends if it red last night. I know it's Valentine's.
Hello racing fans, and welcome to another edition of Handicappers Corner, brought to you by the Derby Bar and Grill. I'm Mike Heads, and along with Drew Forster, we're going to go through the 8 races on the Sunday, May the 4th program at Hastings Racecourse, or May the 5th program, Cinco de Mayo.
Day after the Kentucky Derby, known as Recovery Day in Louisville.
Yes, it is. They don't even run, I don't think.
They've got to clean the place up.
They need 150 or 200,000 people. A lot of brooms and a lot of workers to clean it up.
A lot of bottles to sweep up. A lot of losing tickets, too.
We're going to quickly backtrack to last weekend. Our first older horse stakes race was last weekend. Here they are. We're going to pick it up in the starting gate. It was the George Royal, $50,000 horse, is going 6.5 furlongs.
Basically, 3 horses to keep your eye on here is the outside horse Shrug, the 2-horse Commander, and Devil in Disguise, the 4.
But Frank Fuentes really kind of won the race, I think, pretty much right here. There was about 3 or 4 of them out there, but just kind of looking for position. But Frank kind of asserted himself and got over to the rail and really slowed things up. So for this caliber, the pace was really quite slow.
Yeah, and you can see both the Troy Taylor entrants are just kind of sitting off Shrug here. He gets 22 and 4 for a fit horse coming up. Been running against tough horses in California. 22 and 4 is pretty.
It's a gift.
It's a gift. Is exactly right.
But good for the Swift Thoroughbreds who brought this horse up from California, and this horse. I know they contemplated bringing him up last year, but ended up leaving him down with Carla Gaines in Southern California. But,
their second straight win in the George Royal. They won it last year with Almost Time. You can see Devil in Disguise make his move here to come up on the outside of Shrug. Looks like he's going to get there, but
Commander's kind of bottled up and behind.
Yeah, he had a troubled trip. Could never really get rolling.
Senor Rojo comes up the inside, but Commander finally gets to the outside. But Shrug's they're sprinting home, 46 and 1, and they end up in 16. That's fast. The last 3/16 or last 3/60 of a mile, and that's close. Shrug and Devil in Disguise right on the line. Commander only beating a length and a bit, and Senor Rojo was right in the mix as well.
Yeah.
Both Senor Rojo and Commander will be and even Devil in Disguise will be very dangerous when they stretch out to the mile and 16. Shrug, he still has to prove himself going a little bit farther, but still, what a great win for him, for the Swift Thoroughbreds. Dino Condoleezza, congratulations, Frank Fuentes. Alrighty, on to the first half of the double. We got 8 races on the Sunday Hastings program.
Just a quick one, a short one here.
Quick little race, 1 turn, 3.5 furlongs. I'm going to go to the 2-horse Veni Vidi Vici. I liked him last time. He couldn't beat Oh to Be Lucky, but I'm going to try him back. Gets Antonio Reyes today, subbing for the injured Gabriel Asensio. I'm going to try him to win it. Put the 6, Joshua Jet Fuel, who has some speed. Hopefully he can live up to his name. And the 3-horse Time Machine, who's also quite quick. Not as quick as he used to be. He used to lay down some 21:44s, but doesn't seem to have lost a little bit of that. Might come in handy if he can regain that in here. But I went 2, 6, and 3. Not a race I love, but just a tough opener. Anytime you're dealing with 3.5 furlongs, not my kind of race.
Not my kind of race either, but I have the same horses. I just flip-flop the bottom 2. I do think Veni Vidi Vici is absolutely the horse to beat in here. I see him just... I just think he's too good for these horses at this distance. He's got a good record this distance, 5 out of 7 in the 1-2 spot. Time Machine I put in for 2nd, and Joshua Jet Fuel in for 3rd. I have 2, 3, and 6. On to the 2nd.
Got 2 turns here.
2 turns here. Fillies and Mares, maiden 20,000, and I've gone to the rail horse, Curious Gal, out of the Craig McPherson barn. I'm going for the Antonio Reyes early double. This is a horse, still a maiden, even though she ran well in a few stakes last year. She's got a fair bit of gas to her. Gets the 1 hole. I think Reyes can put her on the lead. I can't really see anybody that's going to give her too much trouble on the lead. I think she clears and is going to be a handful. If she gets the lead by herself, she's going to be tough to run down. The 2nd spot I put Allie's Bobcat. Filly just ran 2nd to Nemleen in the 15. She hasn't out over the course this year. Comes back 2nd start. It's a reasonable spot. Richard Hamill retains the call. And I couldn't really decide who put into 3rd. I put in Vendella D out of the Mike Anderson barn. Well-bred filly by Macho Uno out of a forestry mare that they picked up at the Keeneland sale. Mike Anderson unleashed a first-time starter last week. Haida Guai that paid boxcars.
Paid a lot of money. Big price.
Paid a big price. So I'm thinking Mike's horses are They're running good. They can fire first out of the box. So I put him in for third. I got 1, 3, and 5.
Yeah, I didn't care for this race at all, and I I know I'm going to play a few in the first leg of the win for, and then definitely going to play a few in this leg as well in the early win for. I went to the 2 acceptable memories. I went back and looked at the replay. This horse broke outwards leaving the gate, cost her about 3 or 4 lengths, then rushed up 4 wide. This horse actually showed pretty good gate speed, and I'm just hoping that this horse can break a little bit better with a horse on her outside, because she had the outside post last time. Just kind of when they broke, took a right-hand turn, but at least with horses inside and outside of her, she'll maybe perhaps go forward.
Keep her straight, yeah.
Yeah, but acceptable memories. This horse kept boxing on. I thought she ran a better race than Allie's Bobcat, so I'm going to try her over Allie's Bobcat, who were both exiting the same race. And I'm going to try a different firster, especially since we're here at the Derby Bar and Grill. The 6-horse Border Runner, definitely a horse. You hear that siren going off a lot here. But good works for Steve Henson, who's off to a great start this year. And
yes, he is.
So let's give this horse a shot. Scott Williams rides. I'm going to go 2, 3, and 6. Like I said, not a race I love, but I'm going to take all 3 of them in the early pick 3. On to the third race, maiden 5 granders, going 6.5 furlongs. I'm going to go back to the 3-horse Teapot Hill. I liked him last time for 15, or her last time for 15. I got to follow her back for $5,000. Missed the break, squeezed. I'm just going through all my notes here.
Yeah,
almost clipped heels on the first turn. It was a horrendous first half mile. Let's just say that. For any first-time starter, there was a lot going on.
Yeah. The only thing good that came out of it was she did get the start. Other than that, it was a bit of a mess.
There was not much. She got to see a lot in her first start. I'll tell you what. She got a lot of experience. She got like 5 races worth of experience in one race. And I'm hoping Teapot Hill can just break a little bit better and get out there against this easier company. I think this horse could make some impression. The 2 horse is the obvious horse. Closing intentions, running against the boys in her debut this year, just missed to Fox Be Gone, and gets in against the gals, and she's live in here. She has speed, has a good draw. This horse is definitely live. And I put the 6-horse Crypto Magic in for third. Lenore Dubois, a nice winner, kind of nailed her on one Mausel's Secret last week.
Nice pick there by Michael.
And this horse is, horses are ready, and good work, Tab. Not aggressively spotted for a horse. They paid a lot of money for it as a yearling, but here's a horse that could take advantage of a soft spot. So I went 3, 2, and 6 in the third.
I went with the 2. I just think it's too much. Yeah, she just seems too much. That was that was a hell of a race she ran first time. As you mentioned, against the boys, looked like she was going to win. Just got caught right at the wire. That was for $7,500 against the boy. Now she drops in for $5,000 against the girls. Switches to Grider, who's not going to hurt her. I think all systems go for the 2 closing intentions. I did put Teapot Hill in for second for the reasons you mentioned. So I just swapped those 2. And I have Crypto Magic in for third. I have the same 3 horses. I just swapped I think closing intentions just going to be too much to handle at this price. Got that big 54 buyer first out. If she can run back anything to that first race, I think she'll be tough. Especially she's got speed. She can control the race. So I really like closing intentions. On to the 4th, 3 and up, maiden 5,000. And I've gone to the outside, Regal Deputy out of the Troy Taylor barn. Aaron Grider rides. Not much to say about that first race. Just very green. This horse was really green. Even on post parade, he was kind of shying from other horses. Got into the race and just seemed to just all too much for him, just too much to handle. Yeah, he kind of got out on the final turn. What I liked was Grider got down and rode him and kind of made him finish. And comes back and works in that 48. So I think maybe the light's gone on a little bit, and there is not a whole lot. He doesn't have a whole lot of competition in this race, not near what he faced last time, even though he wasn't really part of it last time. So I have him on top. In the second spot, I went with Rolling in the Isles, a horse that was well backed his first start here this year out of the Phil Hall barn for maiden 15, was 2.5 to 1. Didn't really get involved in that race either. When Fernando went to ask him, he just kind of fell apart. Amadeo Perez picks up the mount, drops down to 5. As again I mentioned, I don't think there's a lot in here, so maybe he can make amends. And in the third spot, I put Wild Dragon, a horse that was just starting to put it together at the end of last season. He had a few starts that were very ugly. Got turned out for a little while, came back, and was competitive for the maiden 3,000 level here last year. So maybe he's going in the right direction for Paddy Leaney, and he can definitely pick up a piece of it. I got 7, 2, and 1.
Yeah, probably my best bet of the first 4 races is in here, and I like the 4-horse Black Whiskey. This horse showed really good speed in his debut. It's a 4-year-old running his 3-year-old,
Yeah.
many 3-year-olds too, which is always a big edge here.
Yeah, I know. Mike always likes that edge.
Like the 4-year-olds,
Yeah.
because you don't get to run until April and May here. It's like the older horses definitely have an advantage, especially at this time of year. There's not a season. You don't get as many opportunities as you would somewhere like Santa Anita, where you can run in October, November, December, and kind of catch up when it comes around April and May. But this horse showed excellent gate speed. Kind of got shuffled back behind a 21-4 against Game 7, Monaghy and Double Minor. The race was obviously something went wrong because the horse never ran back after it. The horse was well backed. It was like 10 or 11. I remember the horse being like 5 or 6 to 1, then drifted up to 10 to 1. The works are good. I mean, this horse, there's no speed in this
grace
race.
for you, a nice man.
Yeah, there's no speed in this race, Drew. I mean, if you look at the 1, 2, 3, there's absolutely no speed anywhere. I mean, unless Regal Deputy, figures it out and can get out there. But I mean, Black Whiskey showed really good speed chasing that 21-4. Fernando Perez, kind of an odd combo with Bill Connick Jr., who does a very good job with his smaller stable. Yeah. But Fernando will ride Black. I like Black Whiskey in here. I like the 4. I put the 7 Regal Deputy in for second just because of the connections. Nothing else. I don't know. This horse could run last again. I don't know how the horse is going to run, if it's going to turn it around. And I put the 5 Extra Moon out of the Mel Snow Barn, who has some good works and not a tough spot to debut. I kind of stayed away from the inside horses, but maybe it'll come up and bite me. But I went 4, 7, and 5. On to the 5th race. I started the pick 4, non-winners of 2 Lifetime. 4,000 claimers going 6.5. I've gone to the 2 Lucky Moly Minor. Kind of an obvious pick. Good runner-up effort to none of that. Ran a good race. Don't see a lot of speed in here. I think he can dictate the tempo in a big field. I think the competition's on the outside. The 10 Shingen Bolt and the 11 Pirate Chest, who both may be compromised by poor posts.
Yeah.
Where Lucky Moly Minor might get away cheap on the head end. And those horses may pay the penalty for getting a poor post and get hung out in this big, bulky field. So I think the 2 is as good a horse as I have today, and Ruben Lara rides for Mike Anderson. So I went 2, 10, and 11.
Again, I got the same horses. I really like Lucky Molly Minor. I think he's going to be a handful in here. As you mentioned, the horses that look like they could be a threat here are way on the outside.
Drawn.
Yeah. So
big advantage to.
Yeah, really, especially with him way down the 2, he's going to be,
gone. I think gone.
Should have everything his own way. So I went 2, 11, 10. I just swapped the 2. I put Pirate Chest in for second. He only ran once and he made no mistakes.
No,
so
he's undefeated.
He's undefeated. So he'll try and keep his streak going. 2, 11, and 10 for me in the 5th. On to the 6th. Fillies and Mares, 17-5. Non-winners of 2, non-winners of 3, BC bred. And I went to the 5 Tecolote here for the Anita Bolton / Terry Jordan barn. She hasn't run this low in a while. She did last year. She ended up running 3rd behind Danny's Chant and lots of cash. But I think she kind of had the wind out of her sails. At that point when she finally dropped down
her last race of the year.
Yeah. So I don't know how she was really doing at that point. And she comes in this year with some good works. I think she fits well in this spot. Aaron Greider takes the call. I got Tecolote on top. In the second spot, I put Reveling, the Craig McPherson barn. Just ran 3rd in this race, behind Clarice B and Victoria Spirit. I think she can turn the tables on Victoria Spirit here, who I have in the 3rd spot. A lot of these horses that have been running back in 2 weeks just don't seem to be firing. So that kind of scared me off of Reveling and Victoria Spirit in the top 2 spots. So I like Tecolote because it's a fresh horse. I went to 5, 6, and 3.
Yeah, I like the 5. I like your Tecolote too. I think this horse is really live in this spot. You got to respect the connections, rider. The work tab's good. This is a better horse than these. If she finds her A effort. And Tecolote's, she's been running against some good mares back in 2011. Last year was a year to forget. She started, because she was running so well in 211, she ended up starting so high in 212 and had to run against Turlani and Heidi Maria. I mean, these are stakes mares. And it's, no wonder she's getting beaten up. But now she starts at a more realistic level, non-winners of 2 for 17.5, or non-win 3 BC bred. So she fits the conditions perfect. She's a non-winner of 3. And I like her quite a bit. I put the 3 Victoria Spirit in for second. Just missed to Clarice B. I know this race is a lot tougher than the one she's exiting. There's a couple of horses in here that are pretty nice. So I'm going to give Victoria Spirit another chance, though. And the 8 Long Glory. Both of her I liked her last time,
Yeah.
but both of her poor races have been in the slot.
Yeah.
If you look at her last 2 races, she got beat 100 lengths in both of them, and they both have been in the slop. Her better races are on fast racetracks. The weather's good.
It will
it's
be a
going
fast
to be a
track
fast
this weekend,
racetrack. Give Long Laurie another shot. I think you'll get a good mutual, and you might get a nice little triactor if you can get the other 2 in there. But I went 5, 3, and 8 in this afternoon's 6th race. On to the 7th, $25,000 older horses going 6.5
Feature race, and
furlongs.
what a feature race it is. This is
The
a
whole boatload
really
of them.
good race.
Starting
yeah.
gate is filled to capacity here. Even got one waiting to get in. Full power heads waiting to get in the starting gate, but they're going 6.5. I'm going to go to the 11 Cabo Chico, and
Yeah.
I'm going to. There is speed in here, but this horse really showed dynamic speed leaving the gate. Made the lead, geared it right down, and for some reason when Seminole Brave come up to him, he
just kind of got lost around the turn there, yeah.
And then all of a sudden, once Seminole Brave went by him, this horse re-rallied
back on again.
and was running well. It's almost like maybe they've, it's not like these connections to jump up off of losses, because there was a 15 that went.
Yeah, I know, absolutely.
This horse would have been in the 15 if they thought the horse, this is what he is.
Yeah,
Actually, they would have been in cheaper if he got beat with an easy lead. But maybe they cut the blinkers back a bit or something. I don't know what they've done. But I mean, obviously enough to impress them to run the horse for $25,000. And this horse, as I said, was very fast leaving there. The 11 hole shouldn't pose a problem, but we'll see. I'm going to go to Cabo Chico, and you might get a nice little mutual. I put the 5 Goldfire in for second. This horse was compromised by very slow fractions last time. Pop Artist got away.
Yeah.
Or Mia's Miracle was on the lead for a while. Then Pop Artist got the lead, 23-4. It was like pedestrian fractions, 47 flat. And then they flew home and 24-1 the last quarter. Wow, how are you going to close on that? This horse was running on in the end and wide. And so I give this horse a shot with a clean trip. Richard Hamill re-rides. And going to need some luck with the trip in an 11-horse field. And going to need some luck with the pace. But definitely going to get a better pace than what he got last time. And I put the 1 Mia's Miracle, who was, I don't know what happened last time. Horse got an easy lead and then geared it down too much. Got swallowed up, and then it was an odd race. Almost like took too much hold. And like when you're out there on the lead, you got to maintain where you're at. And this horse kind of got sucked back into a position where he ended up losing, and that's what ended up happening. But maybe a more aggressive ride and put him out there today. I went 11, 5, and 1. I really like Cabo Chico. That's my play. I don't mind Cabo Chico just for that reason, because this barn does not move horses up off of losses.
I feel like a fool now. I don't have him in there. I should have.
Well, no, hey, I didn't have Market Way in there. I haven't had this year. Don't worry.
Well, you make a good case for him. I went to the 6th.
Philadelphia lawyer. I sound like I know. But
I went to the 6th Stormy Canuck.
You want to buy him now, don't you?
Yeah, exactly. I'm going to drop a claim in for that, I reckon. I went to Stormy Canuck. He fires good fresh. Almost all of his career, he's been taking on tougher horses. You look at last year, he was running against, he got beat by $1 Waiting on a Dime. Come back, he beat Devil in Disguise. Granted, he was a 4-year-old. Devil in Disguise was early on in his 3-year-old year. Then he ran against, Gamby, Herbie D, Crew Leader, Taylor Set.
Great company lines.
Yeah, he was running against tough horses and not getting beat that far. He's been working well. And he comes right out of the box this year into a spot that I think he fits for 25. He is a bit of a bridesmaid. He does disappoint as chalk, as you can see. He's cut out to be a nicer horse, and he doesn't always put it together. In a big field, he could have some problems, but if he puts it together, I think he's the horse to beat. I landed on Stormy Canuck. The second spot, I put McKinley Square. Again, I've been picking a lot of Dino's horses lately, and they've been running very well.
That ain't a bad thing.
That's not a bad thing,
And that's why you got a lot of winners this year, buddy.
Yeah, I guess so. He ran against Senior Rojo, Golden Triumph Senior. He ran that tough race opening weekend, that allowance race that Senior Rojo won. Any of those horses would be favorite in here. He only got beat 5 lengths that day. So dropping into a kind of a murkier spot. It's a tough 25, but there doesn't really seem to be an absolute standout.
No, I'm taking a horse jumping up for 15, so it's not a tough.
Exactly.
I don't think it's a tough 25.
I think it's murky. So I went with McKinley Square in second. And in the third spot, I went to Rockin' Cherokee. This is another one that's coming out of a conditional 17.5, the non-2, non-3. And but he just looked so good that day. Just a real push-button ride by Aaron Grider. When he asked him, he responded very well. And, of course, you always respect those connections. And I wouldn't be surprised to see him make some noise in here, especially with his stock and pounce kind of style. Rockin' Cherokee, I have in the third spot. I went 6, 4, and 7. And on to the nightcap, the 8th and final 3-year-olds for $15,000. I went to the outside horse Got Him out of the Steve Henson barn. As you mentioned, Steve Henson's off to a really good start this year. And this horse just won this race against a few of these. And there seems to be quite a bit of pace in here. You look at We Can Be Heroes, Ludwig. That's what happened to We Can Be Heroes last time. He got hooked up on a pace stool, and Got Him came and ran him down. And I see a similar kind of thing happening today. I think if there's enough pace, Grider can get him in a good spot and make a similar kind of move and try and get up in time. So I got Him, Justin Garrett's horse, on top. In the second spot, I took We Can Be Heroes, the horse that he just got up to beat last time. Hard knocker that come out of Turf Paradise. And he does figure to be part of the pace scenario with Ludwig, the horse I picked in third, Dino's horse, who just broke his maiden for 15, but did that impressively. I see those two kind of going head to head, and maybe Got Him coming and running them down. I got 8, 7, and 6.
Yeah, I'm going to try the 4-horse Sun Soleil. This horse runs second to Boat Away, a horse that's just streaking down at Turf Paradise right now. This horse won a couple for 12.5. He actually won for 5,000 originally, this Boat Away horse. But then came back and won for 30.
Worked his way up the ladder, yeah.
He's won for 30,000 since. So, I mean, he's a pretty nice. He ran into a good horse in 109 and change. Sun Soleil's come back to work fine, and he did defeat We Can Be Heroes down there. But we'll see if that, his first race, he can run well at Hastings. But he's got a nice draw. I think maybe he can beat the 7 We Can Be Heroes and the 8 Got Him. But I think those are your 3 horses. I went 4, 7, and 8. But I have no strong pick in here, but I think those are your 3 horses. Sun Soleil and Fernando Perez gets the call, so I'm going to try those 3 to close it out. Well, that'll do it for our analysis of the 8-race Sunday program. Next up on screen will be a quick recap of our selections. Here's my picks for the Sunday, May the 5th. In race number 1, number 2, Veni Vidi Vici, 263. And then race number 2, I'm going to go 236, the 2 Acceptable Memories on top. In the third race, number 3, Teapot Hill, 326.
All right.
I got a lot of 236 action in the early races anyway. In race number 4, I went to the 4, Black Whiskey, 475. Race number 5, the 2, Lucky Moly Miner, 210-11. Race number 6, the 5-horse, Tecalode, over the 3 and 8. Race number 7, the 11, Cabo Chico, 11-5-1. And in the 8th and final, number 4, Sun Soleil, 4, 7, and 8.
And on to my picks. There we go. In the first, I agree with Mike. I went with the 2, Veni Vidi Vici, over the 3 and the 6. In the second race, I went to the 1, Kiri's Gal, over the 3 and the 5. In the third, I went to the 2, Closing Intentions, over the 3 and the 6. In the fourth, I went to the 7, Regal Deputy, over the 2 and the 1. In the fifth, I'm with Mike again on number 2, Lucky Molly Miner, over the 11 and 10. In the sixth, I agree with Mike again on number 5, Tecalote, over the 6 and 3. In the seventh, I went to the 6, Stormy Canuck, over the 4 and 7. And in the nightcap, the 8th race, I went to number 8, Got Him, over the 7 and 6.
All right, that'll do it for the Sunday, May the 5th edition of Handicappers Corner, brought to you by the Derby Bar and Grill. Don't forget, next week, Mother's Day.
That's right.
We got lots going on.
Yeah, we got live entertainment. We're doing it more on the Saturday night. We have a great menu on Saturday night. We have live entertainment. It should be a great atmosphere. Bring your mother out for Mother's Day dinner on Saturday night here at the Derby Bar and Grill. All right. Look forward to seeing everyone next time. Lots of luck in your wagers on Sunday. Hopefully we've enlightened you and given you a few winners. Hopefully it works out for your Sunday wagers. On behalf of Drew, I've been Mike. Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you next time here at the Derby Bar and Grill for Handicappers Corner.
5 to 9, but make it epitaph. He wins it by a half. According to this here in the Telegraph. For Rivera.